Hey, it's Dorleen, and today I'm working on a layout that I designed in Cricut Design Space. I'm not going to be cutting out the rectangles and squares. I just use those for placement so I can make sure that my embellishments and titles and everything fit within the 12 by 12 page. So once I decide of the sizing on the Cricut, I went ahead and cut them out. So the elements or embellishments for this layout are all cut out using the gold metallic paper from cardstock.com. I will have all that information down below. I am part of their design team, so this will also be showcased on their blog. So please make sure you go and check that out. They have wonderful projects from all of the design team members. As I'm going through this layout, I'm just layering and putting everything down according to how I had it planned in Design Space. So the white cardstock was matted with a pattern paper that has a hint of reds and golds. I thought it really coordinated well with this beautiful gold metallic paper. That cut so smoothly, and I was surprised because I never really have good luck with glitter paper, but I only had to cut once through. I did choose glitter paper when I for the type of paper, and it just worked out beautifully. So even those stars, the points of the stars, I wasn't sure about those, but they turned out gorgeous. And everything I cut and put together was off screen, so you didn't have to waste all my time or your time watching me put the titles and stuff together. So I'm just fussing around, moving things around and what I think look pleasing to me, just using the stars and all the embellishments that I did cut out. And as I'm fiddling with that picture on that top left corner, you see how that, I'm going to call them bricks, but the brick, it really, you kind of have to fit that picture in between that. And I felt like it was limiting where I could place it. So I just decided to switch the bricks around on the top row, which meant I also had to do that on the following rows. I don't think you see me doing that, but I will end up changing it because I still want it to be off like a brick, not lined up exactly. So once I do that, I really like that difference. I know it seems very small, but you see how now I have room to either more to the right or move it more to the left, up, down, whichever. I don't feel restricted to that one little corner in that left. And as far as embellishments, it just worked out perfect. So again, I'm just going through making sure that everything fits the way I want it to fit. And once I do all that, I'm going to adhere them. So I take everything off, and now I'm going to adhere the squares. Now, I say this all the time, but, this is one of my habits, or this is my signature thing, I guess, is just using a fine black pen and drawing a border around, like on white embellishments like I'm doing right now. I always end up doing it, and yet every time I end up putting everything down first and then saying, man, I should have did those lines before I put all the embellishments on. So this time I actually did it. But when I did that, I also wanted to add a little bit more black because I had black in the title and I didn't really have it anywhere else. So instead of putting the photos down right away, I used this little splatter. It's Color Splash or Color Silk by Fun Stamper's Journey. And I went ahead and did some splatter in the top left and the bottom right corners. And that's just really to add a little bit more black to the page. And it's really subtle. You can use anything, paint, markers. There's so many different splatters that you can use. So once I do that and once it dries, I go ahead and start adding some of the embellishments. Now, I just use a liquid glue that's made for paper to put those down. I didn't want to worry about tape. I thought that would just take me forever on those small pieces. I just used an acrylic block, placed it on top so that it held the embellishments down without warping any. And then I'll go ahead and put my pictures down and the rest of the embellishments. I just love this picture of my granddaughters. And I know this is kind of a sophisticated page with all this like green and golds, but the photo itself, or the photos, I thought really worked well with it because one of my granddaughters has a lot of gold in her shirt, and it really is just them in the tree. It's not them doing anything like opening presents and all the other fun parts of Christmas that kids really like to see. So these were, in a sense, their portraits. We did, we always get that annual photo under the tree or near the tree. So I thought it worked out well, even though it wasn't like a fun, childish or juvenile looking page. It was very sophisticated, but it still worked out well with these photos. Again, I'm just putting down the embellishments, making sure that they stay still with the acrylic block. And I forgot to notice or tell you, so you notice that I put the top right one down, realizing those ornaments actually go on top of the photo, so I had to peel those up. And that's what's nice about that metallic paper as well. It's thick enough to where when I peeled it up, I didn't have to worry about it tearing or anything like that. It just came up very smoothly. Now, of course, having a liquid glue helped, but I was really nervous because I thought, well, it's going to tear it. I'm going to have to recut it. No, it was no problem at all. So I found this piece of gold thread on my desk. Who knows what it was for? And I always like when people put like random thread. I didn't know what I was doing, so I just kind of played with it and tried to get it in a little circular kind of lasso look. And I just put a glue dot right underneath where I was pretty sure I was going to put the thread, so that way it can hold it instead of me trying to fuss with it and put some liquid glue, etc. And once I did that, I went ahead and put adhesive in the back of the title, and now I'm going to adhere it right on top of there. So now it's got the glue dot plus the adhesive of the title to hold it down. Very simple. And originally, if you remember, I didn't have a lot of stars kind of focusing around the title, but then I kind of thought that was my triangle. So I have the 2 ornament embellishments, and now I was really going to embellish up, if you want to call it that, the corner, the right hand corner with the title. So I added 3 stars there, and I still had some remaining stars, so I put them in a couple other spots, but I didn't want it to be too overwhelming. But so far I really, really like it, and I hope you do too. Again, it's very simple, but it's very elegant. Please make sure you give me a thumbs up. Hit that subscribe button if you're not already a subscriber, and I hope to see you soon. Bye.